Hello, Thunder Bay Live. I am here with Aiden Kivisto. We're here to talk about the different pronouns for different people happening May 3rd at 1 p.m. at In Common. That address is 40 South Cumberland Street. Hi, Aiden.
Hi, John.
How are you?
Awesome.
Good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Good. All right. So you are a trans man.
I am.
Right. What is one common misconception attached to that title?
Well, I think it's a bit of a mixed bag of tricks. There's lots of different misconceptions and stereotypes about trans men, but I think one that I've definitely run into, I'd say probably in regards to my sexuality, they think that once you transition from female to male, then you're going to be a straight male, and that's not always the case. In my case, I went from being someone who identified as a lesbian before, and then once I started my transition and started my hormones and kind of went through the process, realized that I was into men, and so now I'm a gay man, a gay trans man. So that's one thing. I think that also.
So people automatically think that if you go from woman to man, that you're just going to automatically like the other gender.
Yeah. Well, I think historically, being trans and going through transition was the fix, right, so to speak. So, now you've had your surgery, now you're on hormones, now you're fixed, right? And it's not really. We know now that it's not about fixing anything. We've learned that gender is a spectrum. It's not just binary. So I think that that's a really big learning piece coming forward. People are still kind of wrapping their heads around, male to female or female to male, and this idea of non-binary and kind of living without being either or is something new and exciting, I think, for the community itself, and it's growing from the community up.
Cool, right on. And how is it that you want to be treated when you go into an establishment?
Well, I'd say that now I'm treated the way I like to be treated, which is just with respect. And I think that's the biggest thing we're trying to say with this panel is having respect for people and a little bit of compassion. Right. And so, but I'd say that previously I have not been treated well. There was an instance where I was going through a drive-through and I had given my order, and this was before I was on hormones, and so my voice wasn't as deep as it is now. Not that it's there's no bass here, but before my voice changed, I had gone up to the window, ordered, and then when I got to the window, I looked very masculine and very male, and so the person at the window kind of did a double take and didn't quite know that it was the right order, the right person, and then after that they were really kind of rude, and so that was, and I understand it's a kind of a shock for people, right? But there's a way to, kind of have that open mind to say, okay, well, I know that this isn't something that I understand, but if I have a little bit of compassion and I understand that there are people that are more than just male and female, then they'll be able to treat people a little bit differently.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so how do you think things have changed in the past 5 years for the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I actually moved back home to Thunder Bay about 4.5 years ago. I was living in Toronto, and so moving home from Toronto, where there's an abundance of services, an abundance of people to kind of draw on for support, and moving home, I found that there was very little. And I'd say in the last 5 years, Thunder Bay has jumped ahead of a lot of different places in Ontario, especially rural Ontario, in terms of services for trans folks. I help co-facilitate Gender Journeys, which is a group that was originally started at a community health center down in Toronto, and now we've adapted the program up here, and so it's for people who identify as trans, non-binary, and to come in and learn about their gender and their sexuality, learn about themselves, and connect with other community members. So that's a huge piece. There's also the other 10%, which is a queer youth group. I think it's ages 12 to 23, and it's run by the Children's Center Thunder Bay, and also they run it at Norwest Community Health Center. So there's two of a lot of different programs that are kind of already started here, and to see that alone has really raised the visibility of the LGBTQ community as well as the trans community. My biggest goal moving home was to make the community a safer place for trans people.
Nice, cool. It's a fountain of knowledge right here. Okay, so last question. What kind of programs would you like to see going forward for the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, that's a great question. I know that myself and Ken Miller are looking actually to create our own queer-focused LGBTQ community center. And that is where we would like to house a lot of programs. And so him and I are working on putting a working group together so we can start planning and getting the logistics down, and then start maybe collecting some data and look at writing grants.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're really excited and really pumped to do these kinds of things.
Lots of good stuff happening this year.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Well, if you want to hear more about what's going on in the community and how to address people with different pronouns and stuff, you can come down to In Common at 1 p.m. May 3rd for the Different Pronouns for Different People forum. Have a good day.
Thanks.